Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Jessie. If you are new here, I do all kinds of vlogs, lifestyle videos, motherhood videos, but I also do some budgeting videos. And today I'm going to take you through my June budget with me. Now I'm going to give a little disclaimer. I am currently in my room. My sister-in-law, sorry, I keep messing with my hair. My sister-in-law is watching Ivy and you're gonna be able to hear her. You'll probably be able to hear Ben as well, but I need to film this video. I've been having some trouble with my SD card, so this was like literally the first time that I could film this. So I wanted to show you guys what our June budget looks like. So let's run through that quickly. I'm gonna pull it up here on my big computer. Let's just see what we're planning for the month of June. You're definitely gonna hear Ivy in the background because she's having a great time. So it just is what it is. Okay, so this is what my June budget is looking like. It looks pretty similar every month, but we sometimes have different things that are coming up. June does hold a couple of things. It is Father's Day. It's also our 5-year wedding anniversary, which is crazy to me. And then we also really need to take the dogs to the vet. They have not been to the vet in a really long time, besides Cora going for her ACL surgery. So that is something that we need to do here soon. So I did budget for those things. So you can see in this upper hand corner right here that I just like write out things that I know are coming. Also, if you're ever interested in like the base look of my budget, I do have, like, I'll give it to you for free in my description box. You can see my email. Just email me and I'll, whenever I have a minute, I will send you the link to it, and then you can just, I don't know, I tell you in the email how to do it, but you can basically just add it to your own Google Sheets. It doesn't look identical to my one does right now, to this one, but it's very close. It's the one that I used to use. I just kind of like updated this one this year with like different colors and stuff. So but you can like make it your own, but all of the little calculations and stuff should work. So anyway, it's just free. I used to sell it on Etsy, and honestly it wasn't even worth it because I was selling it for like $4 or something like that. So I'll just give it to you if you are interested. But okay, so let's move on through here. So as far as our income, it should be fairly normal, which I'm very grateful, but our income currently is over $10,000. That is what I think my income is gonna be. As a freelancer, I don't exactly know how many invoices I'm gonna get paid out in June. I also think I'm getting a small YouTube payment, which will be like $100, but I didn't budget for that. So we have Ben's income. He has a steady, normal job income. He actually just got, well, we'll talk about it when it comes, but he has some really cool things happening at work. So grateful for him and what he does for our family. And then I'm a freelancer. So what I bring in is kind of like up and down. I would love someday for like my YouTube channel to be my main source of income, but we're just like not there yet, which is totally fine. There's something on my screen. And then this Beacon payment, this is a business that Ben used to own that he's being paid out for, so that he will technically no longer owns it technically, but they had to pay him out for it. So we will get those payments through the rest of the year. So that is not income that we will have after 2024, basically. I'm just realizing that we also should be getting a cash grant. That's also something with Ben's job. When he signed on, they were a public company and then they went private. I believe they went like the opposite way that most companies go. Anyway, it was like they had to pay out everybody that had been hired on the, I don't know, like stocks or some, I don't know. But anyway, so he should be getting a cash grant this month as well. That is not something that I ever budget for because we will put that immediately into savings, or if I have any like hospital bills or something come through. That is something I'm still waiting for my hospital bills to go through insurance. A lot of them have, but like the big one hasn't yet. So I'm hopeful that we won't have to pay in too much for my hospital bill, which I can link that vlog if you're interested. But I went to the hospital, so emergency room, had to stay overnight, all that kind of stuff. So not sure how much is going to be covered by that, but anyways, our income is fairly high for like what we used to make. Especially I feel like it could be high or low depending on like where you are in your life, but this is what we currently are, what I'm estimating for next month. Moving on, these are all fairly typical, are fixed expenses. They don't really change very often. I try to keep the exact amount, but it's not really. If you ever watch my budget recaps, you'll see that sometimes it's a little bit fluid, but these are pretty much our fixed expenses. So like rent, insurance, TV subscriptions, Kindle Unlimited, which I really need to stop paying for, and I say this every single month. My Pilates, this group Ben's in, which I think he's gonna cancel. So I actually need to remind him to cancel. Let's do it right now. So that is that. I did up our phone bill a little bit because the price of my watch went up, which is dumb because it's old and like barely works. But anyway, currently that's where we're at. So I did up that a little bit. And then these are my business expenses, again, because I'm a freelancer and I don't currently have my business expenses separated anymore. I used to, but I don't currently because I don't feel like I make enough money to do that at this point that it's like worth all the hassle of that. So instead, I bring in all of my income and I push money to savings for anything that we'll have to pay for taxes in the beginning of the year. And then I also just like keep track of my expenses in here for my business. So things like Canva, Notion, YouTube Premium, TubeBuddy, and Libsyn. And then I also have this miscellaneous, which is basically just money for me if I have any like lunches where I go and work and eat, or I go to a coffee shop and eat. I can like write that off. It doesn't mean that like if I make $40, I don't have to pay in any money. It's just like you want to have as many expenses as possible when you have your own business. So if I'm going to like work at a coffee shop, I'm going to technically write that off, even though it's not really going to do that much. But anyways, so our fixed expenses for the month are $3,242. A big chunk of that, as always, being our rent. Moving on to our debt, these are always the same. We're currently not paying off any debt. I say this in every single video, but just in case you're new, we're currently not paying off our debt and we're focusing on beefing up our savings. I think looking into purchasing a house is something that we might want to do in the next couple of years. So we want to continue to like build our savings so that we have enough money for like a down payment or anything like moving related, closing costs, anything like that. We're not going to purchase in the next year. We just signed, well, we didn't technically sign, but we told our landlord that we're going to stay another year here at least. So we're not planning to purchase at least until next year, and it might even be further than that. So right now we're just paying our minimums on debt. And then at the end of the year, depending on where our savings is at, what we're thinking about buying a house, pregnancy, if there happens to be a second one, anything like that, that might affect this. Like if we have extra money at the end of the year, maybe we'll pay off one of these debts. I'm not sure, but that's just not currently what we're doing. We're not currently putting like an additional $100 toward here. Instead, we're siphoning it all to savings because that's just like what makes sense for our goals currently. Also, I'm in a twisty chair, so this is a problem. Our debt is $988.85. As far as variable, I did update a few things here. I did up our groceries to $1,200 because we're consistently going over budget. I'm just tired of it being red. I would like to actually budget the amount of money that we're using on groceries. Costco is constantly at $300. That tends to be how much we spend. Sometimes it's like $250. I have $200 for restaurants, medication and supplements $200, household $800, which that might change because that used to include like Ivy's food and stuff, but now like she has clothes or she has other needs and then just like household stuff. Keeping that at $800, it's like a miscellaneous household basically. Beauty, I still have at $150. I think Ben needs a haircut either this month or like as I'm filming this, either in May or in June. I think I'm gonna go back to getting my nails done. I know some of y'all don't agree with it, but that's cool. It's my money. I just feel like it's something that would make me feel a little bit better right now. I took a few months off because my nails were just really struggling and they were breaking every time I was getting them done anyway. If you've listened or watched any of my vlogs, I've really been struggling with anxiety and with body image issues the last, well, forever, but the last like few months have been pretty hard for me mentally. And I just feel like getting my nails done makes me feel put together. It makes me feel pretty. It makes me feel feminine. It makes me just feel nice. And spending $40 to $50 a month to feel better about myself, even if it is in an aesthetic way, I think is great. I don't currently get things like Botox. I don't you know, spend a bunch of money on makeup. Even if I did, that's totally cool, but that's just like not currently where we can spend our money. But I can spend $40 to $50 getting my nails done a month. Sometimes it's more if I get like a pedicure, but I think I might go back to doing that. So we'll see how I'm feeling in the next couple weeks. Personal spending, $200. Doctors, I'm keeping doctors up a little bit just because I'm like seeing a dietitian, pelvic floor therapist. I'm just seeing a lot of like specialists. So I just want to keep that open. Utilities I have at $250, car I have at $100, Cora and Finn. So this is actually what I mentioned earlier. I did up this to $700 because I need to take these dogs to the vet. They haven't had like a normal vet appointment since we lived in Raleigh. Cora has been there for like, you know, her leg when she broke her leg, but Finn has not been to the, honestly, probably since he's been neutered or like right before we moved maybe. So they just need to go and get like checkups. I don't know if they need any vaccinations. They need to be tested for heartworms so I can get them back on Heartgard. It's hard keeping a little human alive, and then when you also have anxiety and are like trying to keep yourself alive and like happy, and then also taking care of the dogs. I love my dogs to death, but it's just hard. Like it's hard to like manage my brain around things, and the like taking Ivy with to the vet is just like impossible. So we need to figure that out and get them into the vet. Anyway, that was like my long story about how they need to go to the vet. And then $100 for miscellaneous, just like if anything random comes up that we weren't anticipating. So $4,700 for variable expenses, quite a lot. Or a little, depends again who you are and what you're looking at, but that's what we're planning for June. And then this last little section, I put aside $350 for birthdays and holidays because it is Father's Day and it is our anniversary. I have wanted a wedding band since we got married 5 years ago. We could not afford a wedding band when we got married. I could do a whole story time about our wedding and what we planned and what actually ended up happening because we were in so much debt and Ben was sick and couldn't work, so we had like no money, so we had to drastically change our wedding around. And one of the things that was deemed like not necessary was a wedding band. So I have never had a wedding band, which is fine. I love my engagement ring, but I would like a wedding band. However, I still don't think we're in a spot where I can spend like $1,000 on a wedding band. I've been looking at like Modern Gents, I think is one. And then also I really like moissanite. So I've been looking on like Etsy and things like that for moissanite rings, because I don't really care if it's like diamond or not. That this is a diamond, but I don't care. In fact, at this point in my life, I would prefer that it was like ethical and that kind of thing. Not only ethical, but like environmentally safe, which like not all diamond mining is. Something like moissanite, it tends to be a little bit more ethical. So I might look into that, which drastically cuts the cost of it as well. I don't need an expensive wedding ring by any means. I've just always wanted one. That includes a little bit of money for that. And then taxes, I have myself putting aside $840 next month for taxes for my business, so that just goes in a savings account. And then next year, if we have to pay anything in because of my business, we'll take it out of that savings account, and whatever we don't will go into our personal savings account, because I'm being taxed on all of it anyway. That's just like how we're currently doing it, because again, I have a very small income from my business. It's a great income. I'm very grateful for it. It's actually not that small, but it's small compared to like what my full-time income used to be. And then finally, just to zero out the budget, I put that we'll be putting in about $366 into savings. It'll probably be more because of the cash grant, and it also depends if my hospital bills come in. So we'll see at the end of June. You'll see what happens. That is what I'm planning for the month of June. I hope that you guys enjoyed this video. As always, let me know if there's anything else budget or life related you'd like to see, and I will see you in the next video.